Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob, and I want to share with you a what I consider to be a pretty damn fantastic strategy to trade the Nasdaq. It is a very simple candlestick type of pattern that you're going to be looking in a specific time frame of the market. It, the strategy's got some very simple rules. And I think that once you guys watch the rules, look at the trade, look at a lot of the trade examples that I'm going to show you, I think you guys are going to be pretty excited about this trade. Let's get to the intro. All right, and we are back. As always, nothing that I say on this channel is to be taken as financial advice. Futures trading is risky. You are trading at your own risk. Everything I'm saying is for entertainment purposes. I just want to share with you guys the strategies that I am taking, um, and the strategies that I have back tested, and I want to share with you to hopefully grow the trading community and hopefully shorten that that learning curve that a lot of traders are going through. So let's get into the strategy, which is actually it's a pretty simple one. I think it's one that you're going to be able to follow. I cannot take credit or full credit for this strategy. There are a few YouTubers that, in my 3 years of trading, I have seen them all. I have watched them all. I have watched them live stream. I have watched them put out strategy videos, and there's a few that I can personally handpick where I feel like they're my type of people where they're giving out their strategies for what I believe to be the betterment of the trading community, for people just to use, to understand, and to hopefully get better at this trading game. Obviously, you guys know that I follow Robert Anderson, and I have been putting out videos on his trading bot. And, he put this strategy out a long time ago, over a year ago, and he put it out there for free. And, I understand he's monetizing now the system, but good for him. In the beginning, he put that strategy out, which is the same exact strategy that we are trading every morning. He put that out there for free. And so I value that. And I want to be the same person. That's why I put out my oil strategy. I get people saying, "Well, why are you putting out that strategy? If you put out that strategy, it ain't going to work." And you know what? It actually brings a smile to my face, because if my strategy can change some money maker that's out there in the oil market, shit, that's man, that's pretty damn cool. Because I don't think that's the truth. I really don't think that that's I don't think that that's possible. And if it is, I guess we will find out. But you know what? That's why you've got to always constantly add different elements to your trading. And that is the part of becoming, I think, a good trader as well. So I'm going to throw up here on the screen the creator of this strategy. Now, granted, I have changed it and I have made it to where it fits my trading style, and it's something that I've back tested now that I feel like is just, for me works. Quant Trade Edge. And here's the reason why I like this guy. He not only puts out his strategies out there, is not charging, is not, I mean, literally, there's no prop firm. Not that I know of. I mean, there's nothing that he is selling. But he will go out there and he will put his strategies out there for people to trade. And you know what else he does that I think is pretty damn awesome is that he will, let's say that there is a trade setup that's happening in the S&P, maybe a 1 or 2 day trade, because he does, some of his strategy is scalping, some of his strategy is swing, and he puts a video out there before anything has happened saying, hey guys, this is activating, something to look out for. That's putting yourself out there. Trading in hindsight, trading without knowing if you're actually putting money out there, to me, that's all just, I don't know. I think it's just all bullshit. So these are the kind of guys that I like to watch, I like to follow, and I've got a lot of respect for them. If hopefully one day down the future I can fall into that same type of category, to me that would be huge. So let's get into the strategy. The strategy is actually, it's pretty simple. In the beginning, when you're looking at it, you're gonna be like, what? But once you start training it, it's the funniest thing because I actually have this coded to an indicator that I created in NinjaTrader. Um, I am going to figure out a way to get you guys this indicator for free. Just for off the bat, if you guys subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment stating that you have subscribed and you want this indicator, I promise you I will get this indicator to you for free. This is an indicator that I paid for, I had created and coded based off of Quant Edge's strategy. Okay? So, and I'm willing to give this to you guys for absolute free. I think it'll help. But here's the funny thing. Once you guys see this pattern and once you guys actually start like maybe back testing it or looking at charts, man, you're gonna look at a chart and you're not going to be able to unsee the pattern. It's just going to become so prevalent in your chart that it's actually pretty crazy how this works. Either way, I've got the indicator. I think it does make it obviously easier at the end of the day just to look at it. But let me give you guys an example of what this strategy looks like. So it's kind of a momentum play, but it's funny because Quant Edge doesn't really have a name for this pattern, and some people on his channel have given it names. It's kind of funny because my brother-in-law has just called this the Rob reversal. Just because he knows that I've been trading it for so long, and I let him know when I see the setup is happening. So call this what we will, but for now, this is a Rob reversal. But this is obviously not my strategy. I've tweaked it and I've made it into what I feel fits my trading style very well. So these are going to be 15-minute candles. The only indicator that you need on your chart is an 8 EMA. Very simple, an 8 EMA right here. Don't ask me where you get this indicator from, guys. I mean, if that's the case, you need go look at some other videos on just some basic trading because you should know where this is at. It's pretty simple. This is the premise of the strategy. For a long, we are looking for a red candle, in my case a black candle because black represents down in my charts. So I've got a black candle and I have a white candle for my longs, or a green candle. This would be a green candle for other charts depending on how you guys have your charts laid out. So what we're looking for is we're looking for that down candle. We're looking for the second 15-minute candle to open underneath the first candle. So right here, this candle would have to open underneath here. Okay, so we're getting some movement downwards and we are getting some movement back up. So it has to close anywhere within the wick or the body of the first candle. Pretty simple. This is for a long. Where's your entry? Entry is going to be at the once this candle closes. So you got to wait 15 minutes, people. You really do have to wait the 15 minutes. Wait the 15 minutes. Put your long order entry right here at the top of this wick. Now here is the important part. Well, there's a bunch of important parts, but here's a big one. This entry order has to be one tick above the top of this wick. Now you're going to ask, Rob, what the hell's up with this? Because my oil trade doesn't do this. This is not a requirement for my oil trade. But on this trade, it is. Because for some stupid reason, the NASDAQ has this funny way of finding this exact tick point and then coming back down. Where you don't want to be in that trade. You want this thing to not only pierce it, but you want this thing to just explode through that candle or through that long entry order right here. Okay? And then for the opposite on a short order, pretty simple. We've got a green candle or an up candle. In my case, it's a white candle going up. Our next candle opens higher than the first candle, but comes into the wick or body of this first candle. And it has to close within this candle. So if this candle was a huge candle that came in that engulfed this one, no trade. It's gotta be within this body and wick of this candle. Where's your entry? It is one tick. Please remember this. One tick underneath the low of this candle. That's where you put your short order. You're waiting for this next candle to pierce it, to get in. And you're looking now for that thrust downwards. Okay? I'm going to go through some live examples. So we're actually, like I say, nothing that I put out there. I want to give you, this is October 20. It's October 27th. It's kind of late. It's in the morning. And I'm going to show you examples from yesterday and on. Okay? I'm not cherry picking anything. We find losers, we find losers. If we find winners, we find winners. And guys, backtest this. Don't take whatever I say and just do it. Backtest this and confirm what people are telling you. Don't try to always just take the easy route out. 15-minute candles, extremely important. Quant Edge's original strategy was based off of a 1-minute chart, a 1-minute candlestick chart. I have traded the 1 minute. I have traded the 5-minute. The 15-minute, for some reason, it obviously provides less trades, but at the same time, you will find one trade usually per day, which is all I guess for me, it's all we're looking for. And we are, again, time-based. This is something that I have added as well. So I've changed the candlestick time to 15 minutes. And I'm only looking at the 8:30, which is the open Central Time, to about 1:15 in the afternoon. That's it. I'm not looking for it after that. Now, based on your back testing, you might find that 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock might be your end start. For me, it's 1:15. Here's a big one. This is our confluence, confirmation, secondary confirmation. We must get a close above or below the EMA depending on which way we're going, long or short, and I will show you some examples, this is extremely important. Okay, because again, this is now starting to kind of bring the trend into the equation. Okay, so I think that for the most part, pretty simple strategy. I think that after you guys see this, you will hopefully feel the same way. Now, what are your take profits and what are your stop losses? Stop losses is super easy, guys. Stop losses is going to be your low or your high of your entry candle. So obviously if we pierce here, my stop loss is going to be set at the bottom of this candle. Now here's the tricky part, is what is your reward? I have traded the strategy in a lot of different scenarios. To be honest with you, 30 points of profit seems to be, I don't want to call it cake, but it's been pretty cake with the NASDAQ. You can bump it up to 40. You could even bump this all the way up to 50. You could bump this up to a trailing stop on a 15-minute candle, which will get you some really, really nice results. Unfortunately, sometimes it stops you out. So based on my back testing, unless you're doing some type of runner situation, you would want to have a 30 to 40 point take profit, because your stop loss is going to be pretty big. This is a 15-minute candle on the NASDAQ. You might have a stop loss of 30 points, 25 points, 35, 40 points. Who knows? Okay, so this is important. And I'm not saying you have to do one-to-one on this type of trade. But again, the 35 to 40 points seems to be a very, on a 15-minute candle, seems to be a very easy target to achieve. So you guys can kind of mold your strategy based on this. Now, you can ask me, Rob, do you trade this every day? I do not. Okay. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I do not, which is very simple. And I have told you guys this many times in my channel. I need something that I can hopefully be done with, not hopefully, but be done with by 10 a.m. in the morning. So I can actually get out and do my full-time job that obviously I know I have to do. So I can't be looking at charts all day. I can't be looking at charts until 1:15 in the afternoon. So this is just my full disclosure as to, do I trade this every day? No. But guys, this strategy, I have traded for a long time. This strategy works, I think, extremely well. And if you are the type of person, I haven't automated this into a bot or anything like that. Go ahead, do it. If you can figure it out, do it. I don't even think this is very hard. I mean, I paid for this thing to get coded for the indicator, and that wasn't very crazy to get done. So again, I don't care what you guys do with it. Hopefully it just helps you guys. So let's go at the charts. All right. So remember that I'm going to start from yesterday, and then we'll work our way back. So remember some of the rules, okay? It has to close above the EMA if we're going for a long. Has to close below the EMA for a short. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work because this is at 130. So this is already getting kind of close to your endpoint, which is at 115. So no trade. Okay, we have no trade, nothing validated here. Okay, so let's move on to the next day. Let's see what happens here. All right, our next trade, which is, see, it's not as nice as TradingView. October 25th at 10 a.m. on the NASDAQ, we get a scenario where we have an up candle, which is a white candle or green candle on your chart, depending on how you guys have your chart set. We have a down bar that opened higher, has a higher high, but then closes within this body and wick. Very simple. Where's your entry? Let me get my line. Your entry is right here. Okay. And remember, always entry is one tick. So there's always going to be a one tick offset from your entry to the bottom of the wick or the top of the wick. Very important, guys. Okay, don't forget that. So in this scenario, this next candle doesn't get us into the trade. Trade's still on though. Okay, trade is still on. What happens on the next candle? We're in. Okay, we are in this trade. What is our, where's our risk at? Very simple. Remember, we go back to our source candle. That's your stop loss. Okay, top of this wick of your candle that activation, your activation candle. We're in this trade. This trade goes for 165 points. Now you're looking for 35, 40, whatever, you're going to get it. If you hit a trailing stop, you get a pretty good amount of points, probably 45 points there. Again, in my opinion, because this is not realistic, who's gonna time the bottoms? That's dumb. I've even had this sometimes where you can pierce back into the ADMA, which is that black line right there is the ADMA. If you pierce back into that, maybe that's your stop. A fixed stop for me of 35 points, 40 points, you're going to see is pretty doable. Okay. So this is 1 o'clock here at the next candle. This doesn't activate because we are underneath the ADMA. And then we've got the next candle at 1:30. Now, granted, this would be outside of our rules. This wins. This will get you your 35 points, no problem. Okay. Closes underneath the ADMA. Same thing. We have an up candle. We've got a next candle that has a higher high, but closes within this candle. Here's your line. You're in it. Granted, this doesn't fit our exact strategy because this is at 1:30. I've got 1:15. You guys can understand where I'm going with that. Next date. What do we got here? All right, let's look at them all. First one, 8 a.m., no good. It's not in our strategy. Market opens in my time, 8:30 Central Time. Next candle, next activation, we've got a down indicator here. It's above the 8 EMA, not looking at it. Above the 8 EMA, not looking at it. Closes below the 8 EMA, we are looking at it. We have a up candle. We've got our next candle that's got a higher high, but closes within this candle's body and wick. Where is our entry? One tick below. One tick below, bottom of that, which gets us into this trade. Where's our stop loss? At the top of this candle right here. Okay. This takes you down to a max of 86 points right here. You're looking for 35, no problem. You do a trailing stop, which would come back down to here. You're going to get your 35, 40 points-ish, right around there. Actually, I'm sorry. You get more than that because it would trail down to this one right here, and you would probably get somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 points. Not so bad. Next one, this is at 2 o'clock. Don't even have to worry about it. On to the next day. All right, we're on to the next day here, and here's your open at 8:30. You get your first indicator right here. Obviously, closed higher than the ADMA. No good. This trade, so we have a candle here that closes down, even though it's a very close to a doji, and it is a doji. We've got the next candle that does a lower low, but then goes up. So it's, you guys can understand this. It's the reversal. It's like the sellers are trying to get this price down, and then buyers are coming in. So we just want to get in on that momentum. Okay. Where is your entry? Entry's at the top of the candle. Right here. Next candle pierces it. One tick above this, the high of this candle. This entry gets you in. Where's your stop? Stop is the bottom of the source candle right here. And voila. Max points on this is 93 points on the NASDAQ. You want 35, 40 points? No problem. Okay. Next trade here at 1 o'clock would be a short, but doesn't activate because it is closing higher than the ADMA. Okay. And then your next one here, which is at 1:15. Now, hopefully you guys can answer this question. Is this one that would activate? Hopefully you guys said no, because your activation would be your order, entry order would be one tick above here, and you don't get in. And it's 1:30 already right here. This none of these trades are, they're all invalidated at that point. So a nice little winner here. Let's go to the next day. All right, so the next day we've got two ups. None of these work. They're below. They close below the ADMA. We've got a low. Closes above the ADMA. This is way too late. This is already at 3:30. On to the next day. No trade that day. It looks like we got a trade here. All right, let's see what we got. So let's go from the beginning. 8:30 in the morning. We get a first signal here. Doesn't activate because it closes lower than the ADMA. Same thing here. This one is the same thing. This closes above the ADMA with an indicator going down. Down, doesn't close. None of these trades work. Does this trade work? 1 o'clock? No. 1:15, 1:30. Man, talk about a dude's nuts. So we've got one that activates here, but it activates at 1:30. Based on my strategy of 1:15. You don't take it. You do take it. You don't take it. This sucker right here gets you 123 points. 123 points. That's yeah. On to the next day. What do we got? Let's see what we got brewing here. So just for reference sake, we're on October 18th. I mean, I'm literally 9 days from today, from the day that this video is made. All right, first one, 7:30. That's before our open. Not even looking at that. This one closes underneath the ADMA. Not looking at that. This one closes above the ADMA. Not looking at that. This one doesn't activate. Not looking at that. What do we get here? 1:15. Wow, we got lucky. 1:15 closes under the ADMA. We got a trade here, people. Let's see what Let's see what our entry is. One tick underneath. Now, granted, guys, this is connecting to it, but your short order would be one tick underneath the bottom of this wick. That's important. Okay. We haven't seen it play out yet, but it trust me, guys, it will. And your risk, top of the source candle. Okay. What does this get you? I don't know, 113 points. So you're looking for 35 points? No problem. You're looking for 35 points? No problem. Trailing stop doesn't work, gets wicked out. That's why I'm a big fan of just set targets. You might want to even do a scenario where, kind of like oil, our oil trade, whatever your risk is, just go 1-to-1. Go 1-to-1. You'll be fine there. You might want to go higher than that. You might want to go 1-to-1.5. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see where we're at on this video. 30 minutes. Okay. Let's take a look at another example here. The next day. So, what day is this? 17th. We just went to the 18th, now 17th. Market opens at 8:30. Nothing, 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 nothing. Boom, we get a candle with a activation to the upside. So how did this happen? We get a 15-minute candle that's got a downward pressure. Our next candle has a lower low, creates a lower low, but then closes inside of the source candle. Boom, we get an activation. Where's our entry? Entry is at the top of our wick. Right there. Plus one tick, so move this one up. Where's our stop? Bottom of our source candle. This runs up here for 88 points on the NASDAQ. Okay, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, this is just one day after the other. You get here, this is 215, doesn't even fit in our parameters over here. It's funny because we see the little trades that were happening here, but these are Robert Anderson trades. Those are our buddy right there. So guys, that's the strategy. Again, if you guys will subscribe to the channel and comment below that you want the indicator. Now, granted, the indicator is only built for NinjaTrader 8. I will send it to you free of charge. I will figure out a way to get this to you. Okay. I paid for this indicator. What you're seeing, it's very simple. I mean, it's just the candlestick pattern is coded and it just gives you the signals just to make things easier. I don't have this in TradingView. I don't have this in TradeStation. It's just for NinjaTrader. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I was first learning this candlestick pattern, I thought that, okay, I need this indicator. I want to make this into an indicator just to make it easier for me. By the time the guy created the indicator and sent it over to me, I didn't even need it anymore. Because one, it's 15-minute candles, so it gives you time. It's not like the 1 minute. I started on the 1 minute, which is, whoo, that's hard. But on a 15-minute, you have time and you can see this. I mean, I could look at this in 1 second. I could say, okay, that's a trade. That's not a trade. That's a trade. And the rules are pretty simple. So backtest it. Comment below what you guys feel. Remember, 15-minute candles seem to work the best. I have looked at this for like 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 day, and they seem to have some pretty good results. The issue that I have with that is one, margin overnight requirements, and number two, um, depending on how the strategy works and where you want to put your stops, I mean, they can become pretty insane stop losses on there. So take that for what it's worth. Hopefully, this strategy, you can implement this. You can put this as in part of your tool belt or toolbox, and hopefully, you guys get some value from it. So keep watching the channel. I'm gonna keep throwing out there some things that I think of value, and hopefully you guys found some value in this one. Take care, guys. Happy trading.